Hello! So today we are painting on a cover of my favorite books. What my favorite book is, you may ask? It's The Martian by Andy Weir. Weir? I'm not sure. It has the movie adaptation that came out a few years ago, starring Matt Damon. That's about the guy who ended up stranded on Mars and grew potatoes in his own poop. It is a glorious book, it's a beautiful movie, and if you haven't seen it, please do. I think it's a great movie, I think it's a great book. If you're into books, please read it, I think it's awesome. And I had owned that book on my phone for a long time. I bought it off the iTunes store for a long time, because I don't really buy physical books too much, because you can't really take them with you you can't really take too many books with you when you travel or move. But I ended up finding this particular book at the thrift store for like 50 cents. So I ended up picking it up and I'm pretty happy. The cover is just plain black. It had like a removable cover on it, but the people who had turned it into the thrift store had removed it prior to that, so that's why I want to paint on it. I have some sketches, but not necessarily anything too precise. A couple right here. So this one is like this one is to have a little like space helmet looking up to Earth, but I feel like it's not gonna read too well. This one is just have him sit, like in the beginning of the movie he gets impaled by an antenna, and just have him kind of like slumped over sitting among the dunes and stuff. Make it pretty simplified and have him kind of like in the center holding a little potato plant, and with like Mars dunes and mountains in the background. I think that could be nice. That could be cool. So I'm just gonna kind of suggest some shapes for right now. So yeah, this is gonna be like the general shape, I think. And I'm gonna have like a little plant right here, I think. I don't know what to do with the bottom though. I'm just gonna taper it out. Yeah, I think something like this, but I guess it's already too late to turn away from this. Points. And then I also have the opportunity to practice the aerial perspective a little bit, because like the back ones are gonna be a lot lighter and like more hazy, I suppose, than the rocks like closer to us. So yeah, let's do something like this, I guess. And oh boy, I haven't done an acrylic painting in a hot minute, so let's figure something out. This paper is kind of weird. Like the paint kind of lays on it weird. So I'm gonna just block in the astronaut silhouette, and I'll figure out the details later. I'm a little reluctant to paint, to be honest. Haven't done it in a long time now. Well, I mean, like acrylic painting, I haven't done it in a little while. Go from dark to light on this one, because I think it would be a fun little change up of the color. I've recently been thinking, like, is me trying new things every time I do something, like on this channel, for the most part. I try to, keep things fresh, but is it bad for me? Because I don't necessarily focus on, honing one skill. I guess I am honing, like, painting, but I'm not necessarily focusing on like just one type of painting too much, And I've been thinking, like, is it bad for me if I've been shooting myself in the foot by doing this, or is it a good thing? Because like, jack of all trades but master of none. Like, I can be mediocre at a lot of things, but not necessarily great at at one thing. Does that make sense? I've just been thinking about it lately. Hi, voiceover Mushi here. So then, after all that, my boyfriend ended up coming home with flu, and so had to take care of him a little bit because he had a very high fever, and then I ended up getting flu, and so I didn't work on it for a little while after, but I did end up working on it later that night. That's why the lighting is changed. It's my desk lamp, and at the moment I only had the very warm yellow light, which I tried to color correct, but I don't know how well it ended up looking. But regardless, I ended up fixing up the shape of the astronaut off camera because of the angle that I look at the drawing when I film. I don't like drawing on the flat surfaces because the perspective and proportion gets a little weird because I'm looking at it from the angle because I'm really short. But I looked at it and I ended up fixing up the leaning side of the silhouette, and then I started going in and really fleshing out the background colors because I really wanted them to be very even, very flat colors. But the paper of the cover, for some reason, it just soaked up all the paint that I was putting down, and it would dry very, very, very patchy for some reason. So I ended up putting down a lot of layers, which is okay, but now it's kind of thick and gloopy. But I ended up getting it pretty even. Then I started working on the astronaut suit itself, and I used predominantly the same colors that I used in the background just to keep it cohesive, keep it the same color scheme, with the exception for the little plant that I paint in a little later. And also just considering that if everything is red, like the ground is red and the background is red, then there's going to be a lot of bounce of the red color on the white. So I opted for the same colors for all the shading on the astronaut suit. I'm not sure if the shading makes a lot of sense because I didn't really establish a light source, but that's okay. It's not the best thing. Like you should establish light sources, but at that point I just didn't really think about it too much. I had all the other things on my mind, and it turned out okay in my opinion. I kind of wish I went with a little darker on the shadows, but that's an issue with my art in general. I don't give the shadows enough contrast because I'm scared to go too oversaturated in the shadows. So I usually start with the really light ones, and hindsight 2020, I usually end up realizing that there's not enough contrast later on, but it's something I just have to continuously work on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. The spacesuit is not necessarily making a lot of sense. It's not a accurate representation of spacesuit. It's more of a symbol drawing of a spacesuit because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and overall I think it turned out pretty good. I feel like this vandalizing of my favorite book did not go too bad. I feel like it's a nice little picture. I got a nice little picture out of it. But yeah, this was refreshing. I was a little bit out of my comfort zone, so that was a lot of fun. And here I decided to put in another like dark dune, I guess, Martian dune, because I felt like I just needed something in front of him, just because first of all, I didn't want to do anything with the pants, like with the bottom of the suit. Second of all, I felt like it was more interesting composition wise. So yeah, I put in a little bright green plant to create contrast with the really browny color scheme of the rest of the picture, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, so follow me on social media, and let me see you next time. Bye!